Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and against my better judgment, I have 13 new fall candles, and of those 13, which is a very fitting number, 5 of them happen to be the new Halloween candles that I was able to get my hands on early, so we'll get right into it. So there was the candle sale for the $10 off. SAS is wrapping up. I think there's maybe like one more week of it left. And then usually towards the end, they do release the new candles for fall, and they did a 10 off with the neutrals and the boho summer stuff as well. And then there was also a 20% off coupon that came in the mailer, so I used that to grab a lot of these, and we'll get right into it. So yeah, thank you to everybody who joined the Instagram live last night. It was super fun. We were on there for quite some time, but it was just like fun to like finally haul these candles after having seen them in product photos for such a long time. So the first candle we have is Midnight Spell, as you can see right there. It kind of pisses me off that it's like a oval label on it rather than like a die cut or a kiss cut label. Like you can tell it's clearly very much a sticker on the black, which makes it look a little cheap, not gonna lie. And then it has like the juicy ass snake lid on it, very Taylor Swift Reputation era action. If you are a Swiftie, I personally am not really a huge Swiftie, but I still like know enough references to it. But in any case, $36.95 on this. Crazy? Yeah. And so it's $26.95, and then the 20% off coupon brings it down like $21 or something like that. And I believe Midnight Spell and Everlasting Magic, as well as I think Vampire Blood, are gonna get the full body care hookup as well. And this one reads Mystic Air, Moonlit Woods, and Crystal Amber. This one's kind of cool because it's like black wax with the black jar. Although a lot of times the black wax kind of like clogs the wicks because there's so much dye to have to make it black that it usually gives a problematic burn. So a little concerned about that. And there's like a little tail that comes off of it, as you can see like right there. So yeah, they went really all out with the lids this year. This is so incredibly light and weak. You really don't smell much of anything except there's a vague, like, faint body care fragrance. Like, it's kind of like if you took Endless Sea and made it even more watery and diluted. It's just like this clean body care fragrance that really just doesn't smell like a whole lot. Like, in the sort of clean, non-existent, levels of, like, kind of like Lovely Dreamer or Cloud 9, that type of, like, just clean, fresh body care, slightly sweet fragrance. There's like no smokiness. There's like no patchouli in here. There's no like fiery component. There's nothing like dark or mysterious about this. It's just like the most generic light body care fragrance that could be marketed as like a spring body care fragrance for all we know. The fragrance on this is just quite the miss. I just really don't know what's going on here, but yikes. Yeah, so this one's really only going to be a packaging buy for you, and not so much the fragrance, because there's not much of it. So Midnight Spell right there. The next one we have is another $36.95 one, and it's Everlasting Magic right here, and that's what that looks like. This one is a crazy juicy lid. It's like glass, plus it has like the gold like crown on the side, and there's like a skeleton king looking thing, and then this doesn't really suction like there's a suction there, but it doesn't stay on at all because the lid is so heavy, so just be wary of that. But it's kind of cool that you can like actually turn this like upside down, so to speak, and then do the homework thing of putting the candle on the lid as like a candle pedestal or holder, so that's kind of cool too. So this lid is very juicy. This one's also $36.95, Bejeweled Berries, Phantom Petals, and Enchanted Musk, and that's what that looks like. This one is incredibly similar to Tahiti Island Dream. If anybody remembers that body care, this is so close to it, which was like that was like a very much a summer body care fragrance. So once again, this doesn't really speak Halloween or spooky to me in any way, shape, or form. It's very much in line with like Tahiti Island Dream, or if you like Cactus Blossom, kind of Endless Weekend-ish, but definitely like more Tahiti Island Dream and then Cactus Blossom and then Endless Weekend. It was like that era of Bath & Body Works body care fragrances, right up there. There was also this rando Victoria's Secret pink candle that no one's gonna remember. It had like this, it was a 3-wick candle back when they were like transporting 3-wick candles into Victoria's Secret in pink for a hot minute. And there was like a, Slay All Day or like Glistening All Day or some like Slay one, and it was like in pink wax, and it had like this metallic holographic wraparound on it, and it was 3 wicks, and that also I remember saying smells like just like Tahiti Island Dream, but it was like slightly different, which is exactly what this kind of is. It smells literally just like that Victoria's Secret pink candle, which I actually gave away because I was just like, I really don't care for this. But yeah, if you just want like sweet berry floral generic Bath & Body Works body care fragrance that's very much like a spring summer fragrance and not a Halloween fragrance, then check out Everlasting Magic. So that's what that is. Once again, definitely more of a packaging buy on this. It's just weird that neither of these scents are very spooky, and they're just like straight up like body care fragrances, but I guess maybe because they're getting body care like matching component to it, that's why they smell so body care-ish, but it just doesn't smell or evoke Halloween in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I don't know. So there was that. And the last $36.95 candle we have in the Halloween collection is Moonlit Graveyard, and that's what that looks like. This one has like a holographic wraparound label on it. It doesn't say luminary on it, so I don't know if it has like cutouts or if it's gonna glow through. I really don't think it is. So that's what that looks like right there. And it has like a Oreo cookie lid on it. But it also reminds me more so of like those like old school decorations, kind of like the black styrofoam or styrofoam that's been painted black and it's like a cutout or something. It really reminds me of that. I don't know if that's what the intention is supposed to be, but it just really looks like those like old like black styrofoam decorations or something, and that's what that looks like right there. And this one is Tombstone Moss, Cold Foggy Air, and Eerie Incense. It has 3 wicks with the white wax and the rope-like wicks on it right there. Yeah, whoa. Whew. It smells a whole lot like patchouli or incense. It's like if you took spiced pumpkin and patchouli and just isolated that patchouli note and the spiciness, but not the pumpkin, and just dial that up to 100. It's like that. It smells like old man's cologne that has heaps of like patchouli in it. That's really all I get from this. It's very strong and very intense. Yeah, I don't know if I would ever like pick this up otherwise if it wasn't for the cute packaging and the lid and the Halloween packaging. Like this could just be some, for all I know, like some generic ass patchouli fragrance, like in a neutrals collection, and I'd be like, pass, I so don't need that. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what it smells like to me. So I can't say I've really been in a Moonlit Graveyard that has moss or cold foggy air, so I can't really speak to that experience, but it kind of just smells like the patchouli component of spiced pumpkin patchouli dialed up 1,000 and then like still make it spiced. Yeah, I don't know. Moonlit Graveyard right there. Moving on, we have this one, which is Pumpkin Carving, which has been out so many times before as like non-Halloween packagings as well. It used to be Pumpkin Patch. It was then Heirloom Pumpkin at one point, and then also Pumpkin Carving. And this one is that. So it has a very similar style to the Moonlit Graveyard, but for whatever reason, this does not get a fancy lid. It gets a white barn lid, even though it is Bath & Body Works branded. So a little weird there, but the black still matches, so it's fine by that. And at least it's $26.95 because it doesn't come with a fancy lid. So freshly carved pumpkin, spiced pumpkin seeds, and smooth brown sugar. We all know this fragrance, very quintessential, but still kind of unique, like brown sugar, kind of molasses heavy pumpkin fragrance to it, with the clove in there as well. Yeah, it's like your quintessential pumpkin spice, but it's not quite as like generic pumpkin spice as we get from some other pumpkin fragrances, if that makes sense. But it's like more like a deeper, richer version of that. But I don't have a pumpkin patch or a pumpkin carving in my collection anymore, so I was like, let me grab it in this fun Halloween packaging. And it really does have a very like Halloween festive pumpkin type of feel to it. So we've kind of been there, done that with this fragrance as well. So pumpkin carving right there. And then lastly, against my better judgment, I never buy this candle, but it was like in with all the other Halloween stuff, so I was like, let me just get it, but I actually have to end up exchanging it. And it is Ghoul Friend right here, and this one is just like a sticker label. I think it's supposed to look like an old like leather antique book that has like the gold accents and the leather texture on it, and almost like an embroidered pattern or motif right there. And it is indeed Ghoul Friend, which is dark strawberries, ghostly peony, spine-chilling citrus. This one is $26.95. Unfortunately, when I got home, I realized this totally has a crack in it. Yeah, there it is. And then it has glass shards in the wax as well. So I was like, oops, okay, so this is going back to the store. But It smells nice. Ghoul Friend, I highly believe, is just a repackage of, there was this old hand soap fragrance that used to come out in like the spring into summertime called the Raspberry Pink Peony that would come out quite often, and it must have been pretty popular, and then they turned that into Ghoul Friend for Halloween as a hand soap as well, and then it finally got the full candle hookup and everything, and now it comes out all the time. So, yeah. If you want to know what it smells like, I guess Raspberry Pink Peony, so like strawberries and a floral fragrance is kind of what this smells like. So, yes. I've had Ghoul Friend before, and it's usually highly unscented, and then sometimes it'll be in like really dark wax color. So once again, the dye clogging the wick action happens where it like fizzles out and does not pull out all the way. This one is like a dark purple wax, and it has the core wicks on it, so I don't know how that's going to perform, but I'm still not sure if I'm just going to like exchange this for another Ghoul Friend or exchange it for just like a different fragrance altogether, just because like Ghoul Friend comes out all the time. Like, do I really need it? I don't know. I just got carried away. So Ghoul Friend right there. And the other one is Vampire Blood. I did not pick that one up. It's just like this, like a berry cherry fragrance, kind of similar to like a Firecracker Pop experience, which is one of my least favorite fragrances. So I left that there. And so that's the massive Halloween stuff. And then now let me get into the fall and summer action right now. We have Pumpkin Pecan Waffles from the Vera Bradley collection, and that's what that looks like, and it has that print on there. Let's see, $25.95, maple syrup, golden waffles, pumpkin spice, and brown sugar. We all know Pumpkin Pecan Waffles. It's up there with like my beloved BWC Berry Waffle Cone and in those like explosive Bath & Body Works bakery fragrances that are almost so obnoxious that could only come from Bath & Body Works, but that's what I love about it. This is always so super strong. It usually gets very burnt and nasty and just disgusting mid-range, where it's usually in like white wax and it gets black and gray and nasty. It's just super sooty and disgusting, and it like nubs out and it smells so burnt and gross. This one's in like a orange wax with thick rope-like wicks, whereas usually I think I buy a white wax version and it duds out, so I'll be interested to see how this performs. I would just love one year to have a flawless Pumpkin Pecan Waffles that's just great all the way down to the bottom and doesn't do the burnt nasty thing. The only time I've ever had that happen was with I think it was the first year it came out in a cute like mason jar single wick candle, and boy did that throw even for a small little mason jar candle, and it was just flawless, burn all the way down to the bottom because it was a single wick, so it wasn't like getting super hot and sooty and murky, and it burned down perfectly all the way down to the bottom. And it was like, when you get Pumpkin Pecan Waffles to be just like the pure fragrance oil, kind of like how that mason jar was, without all the burntness, it is absolutely divine delicious. It really captures that like crispy golden waffle quality to it that's just excellent, mixed with the maple syrup and the slight spices. There's very much a heavy nuttiness to this. It kind of smells like Captain Crunch cereal as well. Love it. It's just so explosive and strong and awesome, and it's just like, oh my god, fall is here. So I've had a long backstash of Pumpkin Pecan Waffles in my collection, but I've kind of like whittled all that down, so I'm like, okay, I'm ready for a new one. So we'll see how that does. Still love it though. It comes out all the time, but just give me those like super obnoxious, explosive Bath & Body Works, bakery fragrances. So there was that. We have Pumpkin Cinnamon Bun right here, and that's what that looks like. It has white wax. This one is warm cinnamon roll, pumpkin spice, and vanilla frosting. It has the thick rope-like wicks on it. So the issue with this one is that last year I bought both versions. I bought the one that was in just like the white wax with like the clear label or whatever on it, and that one performed excellent. I had like that varsity label on it. It was awesome, and it was like the first year it came out had more of that Pumpkin Pecan Waffle sugared snickerdoodle type of bakery base to it, whereas the next year, which was last year, it was more of an emphasis on that awesome like frosting icing on top of like a Cinnabon. It was like heaps of like focus on that icing or frosting that was so sugary sweet and excellent. Even had like a slight little like lemon juice essence to it just to bring it out and make it even more realistic, and it was really awesome and I loved it. But then I bought the version that came in that like American Hometown whatever collection. It was like the America's Best this, that, and the other with like the ribbon design on it with like blueberry cotton candy and all that. That version did not perform well at all. It like nubbed out like super small little wicks that just like completely nub out, and it just did not perform like the first version did. So I was like, what? So I'm hoping this is more like the Varsity Collection version rather than the American Hometown, America's Best whatever collection. So yeah, amazing. Love it when it performs well. So that's that right there. Oh my god, I can't wait to get into that. But you still do get like the warm cinnamon roll underneath there mixed with that awesome vanilla frosting. Like they really captured the essence of Cinnabon in a jar right here. It's like excellent. So there with that. Let's see, moving on, what else do we have? We have 2 of the like summer into fall neutrals candles. And so we have apple and charcoal right here, and that's what that looks like. These jars are actually kind of growing on me, to be honest, like the matte colors and the simple label and everything. And this one reads Sweet Red Apple Smoked Charcoal, and it's just 2 notes. It's like so annoying because all the neutrals candles have like 3 notes listed on the front, but for whatever reason, this one just only lists 2. It's just like, what? I don't understand why they just couldn't give us a 3rd note. We were saying in the live, like they could have put like a cool fall breeze in there, or like, you know, like fall leaves, or, you know, oak wood, or like anything. It's just very interesting that only put 2 notes on there, and I was hypothesizing that maybe the reason they do that is to try to test to see if, like, for whatever reason only listing 2 notes might perform better than 3 notes, because a lot of people do get scared off when there's like a specific note in the candle, like, you know, oh, like some people just like, you know, like they're so set in their ways that if they see gardenia or musk or jasmine, like, oh, I hate that, so even if I really can't smell it, if it's listed in the notes, I'm immediately gonna write it off. So the more notes you have in the candle are more opportunities for people to not buy something, which I know it's stupid, but that's just how I guess us humans operate. And so that's why a lot of times, even in like new body care that clearly has a floral, like, you know, undertone to it, they still like will just put like, you know, rays of sunshine, or like cloudberry bliss, or some like BS note like that, and they don't actually list the floral note because they know a lot of people get scared off by floral. So I think they try to whittle it down to like make it like as dumbest and lowest common denominator as possible by only putting 2 notes on here. And I don't know if that's what they're doing to see, like, maybe if we only put 2 notes, it might sell better, because we don't want to risk adding a 3rd note that might turn off somebody. It's just, that's how marketing operates. I work in marketing, so, you know, I kind of know how things go. But in any case, just Sweet Red Apple and Smoked Charcoal. So yeah, at first when you smell this, it's just like, oh, this is just another generic ass moldy apple fragrance that we get from Bath & Body Works. Heirloom apple, Honeycrisp apple, farm stand apple, gingham apple, American apple, you know, all the apples that we get that just smell all the same, like the apple weather. It's just that moldy, like crisp green, not green, but like red apple fragrance. Yeah, but then the more you smell it, you do get like a slightly like sweet, and almost like musky, like liquid smoke type of fiery, smoky action is in there. It's a little bit like barbecue-y and a little bit sweet and almost like meaty. Yeah, and I like that because it gives it an extra depth to it from just the usual generic moldy ass apple that we get from Bath & Body Works. So yeah, the more you smell it, the more you get the charcoal and like a barbecue-y type of like smoke type of fragrance in it. So it is not Radiant Red Maple. It's not quite as sweet and just like marshmallowy, like ooey gooey as that is, but it's like a similar smoky apple fragrance. So I do enjoy that. It doesn't have like the heavy like spices and cloves that you would get from like pumpkin bonfire, so I wouldn't quite go there, but yeah, apple and charcoal right there. It is not applewood and clove, which was more, once again, more spicy than this is. And then we have salted amber and vetiver, and that's what that looks like right there. Love the blue jar on it. Salted amber, fresh orange flower, and rich vetiver. These are $26.95. At first I smelled this and I was like, ugh, what is this? This is just like so weird. But then the more I smelled it, I was like, ooh, oh my god, I'm actually really digging this and enjoying it. And whatever the notes say, I don't care. It just like, it smells like soap on skin. Kind of like if you've ever smelled Replica's Bubble Bath, which I think that's still done better, and I really enjoy that fragrance. But Replica, I think, has a bubble bath fragrance. Or is it like Lazy Sunday Morning or something? I don't know. One of the two is supposed to smell like skin on like bed sheets or something like that. And this is a very similar like skin type feel to it, where it smells like you took just like the most plain generic like white like ivory bar soap and you washed yourself in it in the shower, and then you came out and you can smell the soap on the skin. This very much evokes that like soap on skin, like just clean freshness that I really enjoy. And it's more soapy in a bar soap type of way and not necessarily laundry. So don't quite think like the heavy like lavender laundry fragrances that we get from like Laundry Day or White T-shirt. It's not quite like that. It's a little bit more like neutral and clean and less laundry detergent and more just like plain white bar soap on skin. And I love that. It's probably the closest I'm gonna be able to smell soap on skin that's not my own, so I will burn this and enjoy this. I just see myself like taking an awesome hot shower and then like lighting this in the bedroom afterwards and winding down for the day. Oh my gosh, yeah. But in any case, besides the whole soap on skin comparison, what do you get? I guess it's like a clean, soapy floral in there, but it's not your usual super sweet like tropical white floral that you get from a neroli or orange blossom or plumeria. It's not sweet and juicy like a tropical white floral, even though it is fresh orange flower. It's more just like a soapy, clean, bland white floral that doesn't have the usual sweet tropical component to it, mixed with like almost like a slightly metallic, grassy, earthy vetiver note is kind of what you get from it. But yeah, I don't know. At first I was really turned off by this, but the more I smelled it and the more I like started making the like soapy skin comparison and then making the replica like comparison, I was like, okay, this might actually be kind of nice just as like a palette cleanser when all the other fall heavy gourmand fragrances become too overwhelming. So I'm excited to see how this one transforms and burns. So Salted Amber and Vetiver right there. I'm usually not a huge fan of Vetiver, but this one's quite nice. So those were the two neutrals. And then we have some summer stuff. Patchouli and Rosewood right here, and that's what that looks like. And that's what that is. Let's see, patchouli flowers, pink pepper, and exotic rosewood. So I have smelled this one before. Somebody had a test version of it from the Ingredients Plus, and it had the marble lid on it. And I think I even like hauled it and talked about it when I did the coffee and tonka candle as well. And so I've had some experience with it there. And then of course it came out as a single wick just very recently as well. And I guess it must have done well enough that then they have this version for the summertime in the boho collection or whatever. So the issue with this is a lot of these hammer lids for whatever reason tend to have that fishy lid issue on it. And this definitely has a fishy lid fragrance on it because I also smelled just recently the test version with the marble lid and it smelled more juicy and less fishy than this did. So I think this has a fishy lid on it. So just keep that in mind when you're smelling this, that there's a extra fishiness that's kind of like screwing up with this fragrance. But otherwise, it's more like your higher end, like fine fragrance type of fragrance. It's kind of rosy, but still very woodsy as well. I think Josh Touched the Fire Twice in my live was saying it's very much like that boy smells type of fragrance. It's very much like an entry into that. And like, I totally agree with that because I've smelled like the boy smells candles and I don't love them, but I don't hate them either. And it's kind of like how this is. It's like not super floral rosy that I like and like that, like the mature rose fragrance that I really enjoy. And it's not super sweet like a regular, like that type of rose either. It's more like that sort of high-end version of like a rose perfume fragrance. I would say the closest thing would be in the category of like the rose and oud / pink rose and leather, and not quite dark velvet oud or whatever that was called, but in that category of those like slightly like leathery, woodsy, like slight rose, like fine fragrance is what this is. But we'll see how it goes. It was just like, this was like a test fragrance, then a single wick, so it's just awesome to finally get a 3-wick version of it to see how it does. The other one that I contemplated getting, but I didn't, was the Blue Lavender Breeze. It's very similar to Lavender Coconut, which I still have. Actually, I finished the Lavender Coconut recently, and I still have Lavender Woods, which is similar to Lavender Coconut / Lavender Sea, but not exactly. And I'm like, I don't think I'm really in the season to burn lavender anymore, so I left that there. But if you enjoy Lavender Coconut, check out the Blue Lavender Breeze that's in that collection as well. And that was that. And then lastly, we have the Endless Sea and Wild Sand Duo, which is the new body care fragrance that's coming out, and it's previewing right now in minis for $4 or something in store, then $10 for the single wicks. Don't even waste your time with the single wick for $10, just absolutely not, unless like you can't redeem a reward on that, so don't even do that either. So I just got the 3 wicks. So we have, let's see, Endless Sea first, and that's what that looks like. Gorgeous packaging. Really the only reason I picked it up, to be completely honest. The silver lid on is a little annoying because I'm just like, why does Wild Sand get a matching color lid on it, but this one just gets a plain silver lid on it? I think the white looks a little bit better, like that, but even then maybe just like a blue lid or something would have been better, or even a like metallic blue lid or iridescent blue lid. I don't know, but let's see, fresh bergamot, saltwater lily, and ocean driftwood. These are unfortunately $29.95 because I guess the label is more fancy and textures and sophisticated. I don't really know, but yeah. this is kind of boring, to be honest. Once again, really a packaging buy, and I was just overwhelmed with all the newness that I could get at that store, so I just went ahead and got it. But it kind of smells like rubber shoes mixed with a very clean floral, and that's what you get. Yeah. Like a generic clean floral. It's kind of almost unisex in the sense that it has a little bit of a perfuminess, but a little bit of like a cleanliness that you might get from like more of like a neutral cologne fragrance. But it's not quite as like, ugh, as like Bergamot Waters. It's a little bit more pretty and floral and more feminine, I guess I would say, than like Bergamot Waters would be. Just a very like, just clean, inoffensive, like slightly soapy floral is kind of what it is. That's all I get from it. It's slightly aquatic, but not as like juicy aquatic as like Turquoise Waters or like Sunrise Lagoon. But yeah, I don't know. It exists. And let's see right there. And then we have Wild Sand, which is the other fragrance. And I think these two are designed to like put on together so you can like mix and match and combo them, at least like the sprays. So Wild Sand right there. This one reads Prickly Pear Fruit, Cactus Flower, and Warm Agave Nectar. And that's what that looks like right there. A warm fruit fragrance in the vein of like In the Stars, where you get that like sort of like slightly woodsy peppery action with like with a warm fruit, which I think that had like star fruit and like a peppery agar wood action. This is kind of like, I guess, prickly pear fruit with like a slight woodsiness. Yeah, it's just like one of those like fruit that's like been warmed up and slightly starting to rot out in the sun in the desert. It's kind of what this reminds me of, with like a woodsiness, like what is it, like a desert tree bark mixed with like fruit, and it's starting to like warm up in the sun. Yeah, I don't know, take it or leave it, to be honest. It was there and it was new, so I got it. So Wild Sand right there. And lastly, I can never have enough BWC in my life, so this was on sale, SAS, 50% off, plus 20% off extra clearance coupon. This version performs great this year. I love it. It doesn't dud out. So, like, I have very varying performance with Berry Waffle Cone. Like, sometimes it'll burn great and, like, do fine, but then the next version of that in the same exact packaging that I'll get will, like, be super duddy. This one has been pretty consistent, and it has a thick rope-like wicks on it, and it hasn't been dudding out, and it smells great and awesome. So I was like, for 10 bucks or whatever, I'll most certainly get another one, because I'm finishing up the very first one I have of this, and I think I just have half a rib jar one, and that's it. And I love Berry Waffle Cone. So Sweet Summer Berries, Golden Waffle Cone, and Creamy Vanilla. Amazing, excellent, awesome. We've already talked about this, like been there, done that with Berry Waffle Cone, but just another awesome, strong, explosive, obnoxious Bath & Body Works bakery fragrance that has like almost like a warm baked berry, but it's also slightly creamy at the same time. It's almost like if you have like melting strawberry ice cream on top of a hot, piping hot, like freshly baked waffle cone. But it's not even so much a waffle cone, it is more like streusel crumb topping, where you get like this sort of like cinnamon brown sugar component with heaps of this like butteriness to it. It's just like so golden buttery, awesome. And it's not quite waffle cone, but it's just like, it's just so awesome. So Berry Waffle Cone right there. And whew, I think that is it. Oh my god, 13 candles that just kind of like lost my mind, but like, I love the fall season, and the Halloween stuff was already available, and I was like, let me just lock it into the sale price with the 20% off coupon and just call it a day and be done with it. So that was exactly what I did. And that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. If you watched this entire video, I will start doing reviews of these as time allows, and we'll go from there. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know all your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.